Hey guys, my name is Narayan and I welcome all the viewers in this video once again. And guys, I'm just continuing with the topic of network certification CompTIA Volume 2, Lesson 11. In that, the very first lesson, which is 11 itself, and the topic is network security. Inside that, we have couple of topics, some around 5 to 6 topics. So in my previous video I have concluded one topic, my first topic. In this video I'm just going through two more topics, like topic B, which is virus protection, and topic C, local security. If I talk you about it more, so it has 6 topics. Topic 1 is like network threats, topic B is virus protection, topic C is local security, topic D is network authentication methods, and topic E is data encryption. And one more topic, which is topic F, internet security. So I will be talking about all those one by one, because in one video it's not possible. It is a very long, a bit time consuming. So let me tell you, as I told you, we have two topics in this video. One is virus protection and second one is local security. So let me go to the second topic. So as you can see, I have already spoken about a couple of things in topic A, like which is network threats. What are the threats, how we can protect against those things. So you can subscribe my channel and you can find those videos also. So I will go to the next topic in this video. The next topic is virus protection. So we will understand how we can protect our IT infrastructure from viruses. What are the methods? So first of all, we will understand what is or what are I mean to say okay. So first of all, we will understand virus infection methods, how your system get infected, or what are the methods can be. So very simple, guys. First of all, like if we have any hard disk, okay, that can be attached itself to, or simple thing, a virus on a hard disk can attach itself to removable media. So the meaning is very simple. First of all, if you have any hard disk connected to your computer, and if you connect any third party tool like floppy disk or pen drive or something like that, so automatically that virus can be transferred from your hard disk to that removable drive, or it will then, if you connect that removable drive to another system, it will replicate from there. So this is the first kind of method of infection, you can say. The next one is virus on internet can attach itself to a file. So if we are using internet, in that time also there is a possibility of, like, if we are downloading any file, exe, image, video, something like that, that time also virus can be downloaded from there, and it can infect it to your system. Now third one is like a virus can attach to an email. Similarly, like we are downloading anything, any file from internet, so if we are using email, in that condition also there is a possibility of viruses to come to your system, like in the form of any attachment or something like that. Okay, the virus is activated, and when we open that particular email or any attachment came, and we run, so in that condition there is a possibility of activating those viruses. So these are just basic infection methods. Now what are the types of viruses? So first of all, we have to understand in this what are the types of virus. So very first one is boot sector. So what happened in this, guys, when, see, I have taken this much definition, or you can say the explanation. So the meaning is very simple. What is boot sector virus? So boot sector virus is a kind of virus which is infected or inserted into your hard disk at the time of production. That is known as boot sector, and those viruses will be introduced in your hard disk in boot sector. So as soon as you connect those hard disks to your system, those viruses will be activated, and your system will be impacted. So as you can see here, writes itself into The boot sector of a floppy or hard disk, it could be anything. When a system attempt to boot from the disk, the virus is moved onto the system. Once on the system, the virus attempts to move itself to every disk placed in the system. So once it is, you started your system, and whatever the number you have of hard disk in your system, all hard disks will be impacted. So that is known as boot sector. The next one is file infecting type of virus. So what happened in this? Infects executable program and uses operating system resources to propagate itself. So, and it often destroys the executable files unless it is well written. So it is kind of you can say the virus type in which there will be certain executable programs, and they will target to those kind of program or applications, like only like those are executable. Next one is macro. So what happens in this macro? So macro is a group of application specific instruction that execute as a group within a specific application. So it is not a single, it will be a group of multiple you can say application specific instructions. A macro virus uses other program that will the main concept of macro is just like it will damage other engines. Okay, it will just damage certain things, like you have other applications, so it will destroy that engine of other application. That is the main concept here. True macro viruses don't actually infect files and data, okay, but attach themselves to files, templates, documents, or macro. And Microsoft is the most targeted product by this macro viruses. Next one is mailer and mass mailer. So mailer and mass mailer virus is a kind of virus, very simple to understand. A mailer virus sends itself to another users through mail system or email system. It simply writes along with the any email that is sent. For example, I'm sending any email, so inside that email it is going to another system or another user. That is the concept of mailer or mass mailer. The next virus is polymorphic. This kind of virus can change as it moves around, acting differently on different system. It can sometimes even change the virus code, making it harder to detect. So this is one of the very hardest virus we have in technology to detect and work with it. The next one is, guys, script virus. Once again, it is very simple concept. What happens in this? So it is a small program that runs code using the Microsoft Windows scripting host on Windows operating system. So whatever or whichever operating system we use, we have certain scripting. So this scripting virus will be running certain codes using those scripts on operating systems, basically on Windows operating systems. Next one is a stealth virus. So what is this? So a stealth virus moves and attempt to conceal itself until it can be propagated. After that, it drops its payload. The next one is worm. So what do you mean by worm? So a self-contained program similar to virus that spreads and can exist without a carrier file. It detects a connection and establishes communication with other devices on its own. It propagates on any network connection or email system. Now we have certain antivirus software as well, like what is the use of antivirus software here? We spoke about the viruses. Now it is time to understand antivirus software, because if there is a problem, there will be certain solution as well. So to deal with those viruses, we have certain softwares which is known as antivirus softwares. So once again, it is a executable code that matches patterns known as signature and definitions. So guys, if we talk about this one, antivirus software is an application that scans files and executable codes that matches patterns known as signature or definitions that are also known to be common viruses. So the meaning is very simple. These antivirus softwares will keep scanning, keep searching for those kind of activities definition. It could be definition, any definitions or any signatures, which is basically known as viruses. So it is a software or application which is used to scan or search, find out the viruses available on our systems or data. That is the main concept of antivirus software. The next one is the antivirus software also monitors system for activity that is associated with viruses. And again, they have additional work, like they will keep monitoring our system, they will keep tracking what is the behavior of such such kind of materials if we have in a system. So what kind of impact they are putting to a system, such as like accessing the boot sector and all. Now next thing about this antivirus software is like antivirus software is typically deployed on the gateway computers at the parameter of the network as well as on the individual desktops. So these are the you can say methods to protect your internal network or IT infrastructure. So we have to be very careful where we want to deploy these kind of software so that our network can be protected very well. Now guys, there are certain vendors we have, those who provide those kinds of antivirus software. So first of all, very common and very popular, which is Symantec, and the next one is McAfee. So if you want to understand how to configure McAfee server, how to protect with the help of McAfee, I have uploaded couple of 9 to 11 videos in my channel completely based on Symantec Endpoint Protection Manager server configuration, installation, security part. So if you want to, you can go through and see how we can do it. So these are very common, and there are so many antivirus or antivirus software vendors available in market, but generally if we talk about the organizations, so they go for Symantec because it is very easy to implement, manage and protect your network. Similarly, McAfee is also one of the very good vendor. Next one is, guys, this is what I was talking about so far, antivirus software. So very simple to understand how we can deploy it. For example, this is your ISP or this is your global network. Okay, this side, this much. Now you are connected. This is your LAN, you can say this. For example, I'm telling you. Now here, let me take different color. I need different color. Okay, so now I have one gateway here, so I can deploy same antivirus software here. Okay, because this is entry point to my network, and these are my LAN, or I have this server also here, antivirus server. For example, Symantec Endpoint Protection. So here also I can deploy certain protection, and these are the computers, so I can deploy protection here also. I can install those antivirus softwares here also. So you will have multiple layer of security. In that condition, your computers, your network will be protected very well. So these are the very common way or methods to deal with such scenario, or in that kind of scenario. Now next one is updating virus definition. So what do you mean by updating virus definitions? So very simple, guys. In this there is nothing to worry about and feel like what it is actually. So I will tell you very simple example here. For example, I have a Symantec Endpoint Protection server, and I'm using, like, example I'm giving 1 2 3. Okay, this is 1 2 and 3 is my definition as of now. This is a kind of virus I have available as of now in the market, and I am a vendor. I need to provide security against this one. So I will develop couple of patches on my antivirus so that my users should be able to download those things and should be able to protect it against this kind of 1 2 3 virus. But what happens, there are other people also, like, who's producing or who is generating multiple viruses, so they will develop something new. So for that also I need to be ready. I need to be make something available for my users to protect against those kind of. For example, this is one kind of virus. Now one virus developer has developed new one, is like it is 3 4 5 now. So what will happen if this attack comes? My user should be able to deal with this. So they will I mean, they will think always. If I am a vendor, I will always think about like this. So I will prepare a couple of patches or security things like that. So those should be available to my users. So that is known as updating virus definition. So this kind of virus can come. So this is the solution for that. So the production should not be impacted. That is the concept of updating virus definitions. So this is a very simple example here. For example, this is a vendor, okay, antivirus software vendor. I have this guy, for example, Symantec itself. So now what will happen, this is the internet and this is my LAN, this side. So I have one antivirus server over here and this is my LAN. Now I need to update my server first of all. So I will have to connect to internet. I will have to configure my server so that automatically if any definitions come, any updates comes, that in that condition my server should be first of all updated as per the updates available on the vendor side or antivirus software vendor side, and then it should replicate same to all the client's computers. So each and everything is up to date. That is known as updating virus definitions. So if any virus comes like, okay, this is a possibility, this kind of virus can attack, so my system will be ready for that kind of things, and this can be solution in that condition. So my system, my server, my network is ready to face that kind of challenges. That is known as updating virus definitions. Now next one is internet email virus protection. So in this we will understand how we can protect, or what are the protection methods against internet emails viruses. If any email is coming and inside that certain viruses are coming, so how we can protect against this kind of situation. So the meaning is very simple. First of all, screening the internet gateway computers for viruses. So the meaning is very simple. I think I have taken one. Okay, I have taken this graphic also. So the meaning is very simple. This is my, once again, ISP, this is global, and this side my LAN. So first of all, this is my gateway, either it could be router or firewall. I have to screen the traffic, whether it is clear or not, or whether it is having viruses or not. So one filter is done here. Next one, employ good desktop antiviruses. So if we don't have this kind of things, gateway and all, then we should have good antivirus to be installed at all the desktop computers. Okay, this is the second method. If I am a home user, I don't have gateway and I don't have any server and all, then I should use very good antivirus. The next one is scanning emails, incoming emails between the internet and the email server. Again, now this is my email server. For example, I'm taking it as an email server. So again, this all the emails should be scanned here, then only it will go to client computers. Okay, that is also the second method we can apply. Next one is scanning email again at desktop. Once all the emails are downloaded to client computer, that client computer should be able to scan once again. So these are the parameters, or you can say the scanning level. If a virus attack is detected, disable all internet if any detection is detected. So that internet should be, that we can configure whether that particular computer can be shut down or should not, should be disconnected from the network, so that that virus will not be replicated to other computers on the network. So these are the very common methods, or you can say the process we can apply against internet email virus, or you can say the methods are protection against the email viruses. So guys, here the topic B is completed. I hope this is informative. Now we will move to the very next one, which is local security. So you have to understand what is local security. So local security is a combination of two words, guys. As you can see, the first one is local and the second one is security. As an IT professional, it is a very huge responsibility on us to protect, or if it comes like security, that means you are dealing with very special thing, or something very special. So first of all, I will understand here what does it mean. First of all, we need to understand share level and user level security. Okay, so basically there are two primary model of implementing security on local network. One is share level security and user level security. Okay, So this is the scenario of both the things, like this is a share level and this is user level. So we'll understand, this is very simple to understand here. For example, I'm sharing something, then I will have to assign certain password for those users. Okay, I have shared one data, then I will have to give password to that user, then only he can access. Now if we talk about user level, for example, what is this? User logon. So if that user is accessing that particular data, certain data is kept here on this resource server. So that you should understand scenario. First of all, I have shared certain data. Okay, so I will have one server for that, and if I am accessing those data, that data from another computer, that is known as remote access or network access. So in that condition, I will have to give certain level of security. So we'll understand. First of all, I have shared, now you can understand, one server I have that is known as authentication server, and one server on which or at which I have that data. So I have two servers. Okay, now I am a user here and this data is kept here. I am trying to access data. I need that data. So first of all, what will happen? I will log on to my computer, and that is my authentication server. So the responsibility of this authentication server is to provide authentication to me. So for that, it will check my username and password and all. Okay, so it will check, I just requested, this is my username and password. Now it will generate one authentication token, you can say token itself, access token. So in that, it will check whether the username is correct or not, and it will send the token to this user. That is second step. This is first and this is second. Once it receives that token, once again this computer will send that token to resource server. So user presents token to access the resources. So in that, it will check, okay, what kind of rights or what kind of level of security is applied to that resource for this user. That is known as share level and user level security. So it will check, for example, I have given password Narayan8123 for this document for this user. So he should present that username only, Narayan8123, as a password, and it should be this token should have that password, then only he can access that data. That is known as share level and user level security. Next one is, guys, rights. What do you mean by rights? I'm very confident, sure, I should not say confident. Lots of time what happens, what I have seen most of time or many time, that couple of guys are not able to understand what is the difference between rights and permission. They are always confused, so we should not get any confusion in this. We will understand here what is the meaning of rights and what is the meaning of permission, because as an IT professional we should be very clear with all the topics and concepts. So I will take you through one by one, what is rights, what is permission, where we can apply, where we cannot apply. So what is rights here? So guys, rights is nothing but is a security setting that controls whether or not a user can perform a system-wide function, such as shutting down on a computer or login on a computer or server. That is known as rights. Okay, it is just a setting that controls whether what he can do or what he cannot do on a computer or system-wide functions. That is what the main concept of rights. And rights are assigned to user or group accounts, not to a particular object or resources. This is what we should be very careful, because most of time I have seen in my career, my life, that guys are not able to understand this thing. They feel that, and they say that the rights means it can be applied to object or resources also. Okay, so you should be a little bit careful about it. Now let me tell you what it is actually rights. For example, this is a user, or it can be a member of group, as I told you, group accounts or user. So I have given certain rights, whether it can shut down or shut down to it can shut down or not that system, or whether log on locally or not, or change the system time. So these are known as rights, okay, particularly given to a user. Now let me take you through permissions. So what does it mean? So permissions is a security setting that determines the level of access a user or group account has to a particular resource. So now we can assign permission to resources, that particular resource or folders, but in term of rights we cannot assign rights to object or resources. Okay, that is the difference between rights and permission. Now permission can be associated with a variety of resources such as file, printer, okay, share folder and network directory databases. So we can apply permission to these kind of resources. Now if we talk about the next thing in this permission, which is permission can be typically configured to allow different level of privileges or to deny privileges to user who should not access the resources. So we can just the concept is very simple. Either we can give allow permission or we can deny to access the resources. This is the main concept of permission, and it is different from or as compared to rights. Now let me show you certain example here. So for example, I have certain resources kept here, which is known as marketing document, and now I have this kind of situation. So I have 4 guys in that. Those guys are administrators, so they have full access. Okay, now I have one more guys, which is user 1. So marketing documents are very important. So this required only read only access. He should not do anything like editing, modifying, deleting and something like that. So I gave him read only access only. Now I have one more couple of guys here, which is and those guys are contractors, so I have given no access. I have denied completely access for those guys. So that is known as permission. Let me show you how it works basically. For example, I'm creating one share folder here, okay, and let me go to this PC. In next slide I have explained about it. So sorry, let me create one folder, and this is what I was talking about. We can go to property of this folder, and we have security and we have sharing also. Okay, so both has a little bit different kind of level of security we can apply. So let me go to the next slide, then I will tell you. Okay, so let me move to the next one so that you will understand it very well. So guys, here as you can see, the next topic is the NTFS file system. Okay, NTFS file system, what does it mean? On Windows operating system, file level security is supported on drive that are formatted to use the NTFS file system. So on Windows operating system we can configure file level security also. On drives means partition what we made at the time of installation of operating system, and those if those drives are formatted with NTFS file system. The NTFS file system or NTFS permission can be applied either to a folder or to individual file. And NTFS permission on a folder are inherited by file and subfolders within it. I will explain you what does it mean. And there are several level of NTFS permissions which can be determined. For example, whether user can read or run any application, write to existing file, modify, create or delete files and folders. So let me give you one example here what I'm talking about. I have a hard disk, this one, and I formatted this hard disk with NTFS file system. So now I can assign multiple layer of security on this, like NTFS permission and all, to this particular file. For example, this is one text file, and this is a folder. So I can assign, so that I can assign, I mean I have option to assign to this text file itself or this folder itself. And as I told you, it is a inherited. So if I apply any permission to this parents, the same will be applied to child folder also, or the rest of files whatever we have. For example, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4, this is 5. Okay, so we have this kind of inheritance here, but we can change it if required. And these are the different level of NTFS permission. I will show you now. Let me go to that folder I just now created here in drive, this one, new folder. And if I go to property, and where I can find this one, see, let me tell you first of all, if I go to sharing, so it will ask me to share this folder. And now I can see here, you can see here, we have one tab like permissions. So I went to there. Now it is asking share permissions to whomever, to whom you want to assign permission, group or username. You can add any group if you want, and you can find from here, like go to advanced and check, find now. So you have these many users, you can assign permission whatever you want to assign. I'm not doing anything here, I'm just giving you example. Now let me go once again here, and as you can see here, we have allow as well as deny. So we can deny completely, or we can allow certain things like full control, change, and read. Now similarly, we have one more tab here, which is security. So again, we can assign this to either user or either group. And below that, we have permissions for authenticated users. So for example, for authenticated user, I'm selecting either full control or modify or read, executive, and all. So these are the different level of security. And we have deny also. So we can select anyone and we can edit it and make it deny also, like this. So it is depend on the requirement what we have to do and what is your requirement. So let me take you to the next slide. In that you will understand better, little more things. Okay, now NTFS files and folder permissions. You can set NTFS file and folder permission on the security tab. Just now I showed you, or just now I told you, okay, you need to go to property of that particular document or folder and select security. The standard permission for both files and folder include read, write, read and execute, modify, full control. Let me show you the same thing here. So if you want to give read permission to that folder, this is a folder permission. Okay, let me show you one more time. I will show you both folder and folder permission and the document permission. So for that we need to go to same location. This is my share folder. Now inside that I can create one text file or something like that. I created this text file. Okay, so let me go to this one also. So first of all, we will understand folder permission. So I went to security property once again in security. So I have here full control, modify, read and execute, list folder, read, write and all. Okay, now let me minimize this and I will show you the next one. So the first one is read, he can read. Next one is he can write as well. Okay, list folder contents and all. So guys, I'm not reading this much. I hope this much enough to understand. Let me move to the next one, next slide, which is file permission. So can you see little bit difference between file permission and folder permission? So here we have 5, and this side how many we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so we got modify extra here. No, not modify, read write list folder contents, because in file we have only one file, but in folder we can have multi files, so we can uh, list those folders, folder content basically. How, what does it mean? Let me tell you here. Again and again I have to open this. For example, what I'm telling you, this is one folder I have multiple documents here, multiple files, no Excel file also, so I can arrange it as per my wish. That is the main concept here of that one, list folder content. Okay, like and if I tell you about this document, this file, so I cannot do much with this file except those 5 permissions. I do not need to arrange and all, because this is a simple one only, I mean single only. Okay, now this is what I'm telling you. Just go to view. Here you can see like medium size, large size, list, content and all. That is the concept of list folder contents. And again same, if you give read permission, so that he will, I mean that user will be able to read only that particular document, write, he can write. Okay, and next one is read and execute. He can do couple of things. He can make a couple of things like you can read here, guys. I'm not reading much thing here. Okay, now user and groups. What do you mean by users and groups? So rights and permission can be assigned to individual user account. So we have we can assign rights and permission to an individual user account. Okay, so in this, however, there is an insufficient security practice. This is because so many permissions assignment must be duplicated in that condition. Okay, so we have to little bit careful about this. Let me give you a very simple scenario here, what it is. For example, here this is what we have situation, like users and groups, and users with similar security needs. So we have one more group here, combine into group, grant access to resources. So guys, here we'll see little bit things. Okay, it is more efficient to create group of users with common needs. So what we can do, for example, I can create multiple groups, like group HR, group IT, group training and all, and I can put users. If we have 5 users from HR, I can put those users in HR group. I can put 4 IT guys in IT group, and they will have that kind of access only. I can grant as per the requirement, so it will give more or more security, because they will have to access, or they will have access only to their particular department only. They will not misuse, or they will not steal, or they will not have unauthorized access to any other data. So in that kind of situation, we can create groups or users and assign them rights and permissions as required. Now we have couple of things here, like effective permissions. What happens in this? So guys, permissions are cumulative. This means that when a user is member of multiple groups, okay, for example, I have a user and he is member of multiple groups, this user. So here effective permissions comes. How? For example, this is a user and he is a member of managers group, so he required write access to certain data, and he is also member of sales group, so he required read only data, I mean read only access to of that data. So if he is a member of 2 group, he will be having read and write access. That is known as effective permission. Now in this, in Microsoft Windows, permissions are cumulative except for the deny permissions, which overrides all other permissions. Now I will tell you about little bit share and file system permissions. So On most Windows systems, you can set NTFS permission on individual files and folders. I have just now told you a couple of slides back. When you share a folder for network use, you can assign a separate set of permission to the shared folder. So now situation is what we have network access, or that resource is kept on one server, and I'm sharing that resource throughout my network. So I can assign certain permission in that only, and how it applies and how it works I will tell you here. I will explain you will understand. So share and file system permissions. For example, this is a computer, access on local computer and access remotely. So what will happen here? For example, I am a user, I logged in here, I logged into this computer, and I want to access those resources remotely as well. So what will happen? Access on local computer, file system permission applies. So whatever permission is applied or we have given to that user and he is logged into that computer, those permission will apply to that user. Now if that user is trying to access through network, so whatever the permission we have given for that user on that particular resource will be applied at the time of accessing from the remote. That is the concept of share and file system permissions. So if user access the folder while logged on to the local system where it is stored, only the local file permission pertains. Okay. Now if a user access the folder through the network share, the share permissions are applied first, and then file level permissions are applied. So first of all network, then share permission, then file level permissions are applied. The user's effective access is the most restrictive of the two sets of permissions. And share permission, what are the share permission? Like share permission on Windows operating system, like read, change and full control. If we let me show you. So just now I told you while I was sharing that document, this share folder, and let me make it a property or share. If I share it, advanced sharing, I'm going share this one, and if you see permission, so it has full control, change and read only, 3. So this is the difference between locally stored data, locally stored folder or file, and share file, and what kind of security like permission we can assign. So guys, here topic C is also completed, and in this video this much only, and in my next video I'll be talking about topic D, which is network authentication methods, what are the methods, and the next topic will be like topic E, data encryption, and how we can encrypt our data. The next topic will be after that internet security, I think internet security, and in that we will understand the rest of concepts one by one. And after that I will be having lesson 12, which is remote networking. What are the things we have, like remote access, infrastructure, architecture, terminals, services, implementation, remote access, networking implementation, virtual private networking. So I will be talking about in my coming videos. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe my channel, and share this video, like this video, comment on this video, and thanks once again for watching this video. Till then, bye bye.